I wanted to ask you about low dose Nandrolone because this is something that it's kind of come in and out of the TRT community over the last few years. It was popular, it wasn't popular, and now it is. And as someone who's got multiple disc herniations, it was something that when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then when I looked into it, I was like, well, this is a progestin analog, which I don't really like the sound of. But when I was looking at the proposed mechanisms of the opioid receptor, I was like, this I don't really know if there's anything here. And when I watched your take on why Nandrolone is garbage, this to me just made a huge amount of sense. So, do you think there is any merit or application for augmenting a TRT protocol with Nandrolone for people who have chronic pain?
No, it's just bro science bullshit that's being used by the bro scientist salesman for a TRT company to trick ignorant patients into believing, oh, you've got pain, we'll take your pain away. That it basically it's no different than the Sackler family, except for at least their drug worked. That the whole premise is this that one, you're holding a fuck ton of water, so your joints are going to be more lubricated because every motherfucker in America is dehydrated because no one drinks enough water and no one uses enough salt to stay hydrated. One. Two, that it does upregulate collagen synthesis. 2A, so does every fucking thing else. Okay, that's it. And then 2B, it doesn't even increase collagen synthesis as much as EQ. But EQ does decrease estrogen, which would make you dehydrated unless you watch the hydration video I have. And that pretty much it's how to grow episode 11 hydration, which is one of the most important videos I've ever shot. It's one of the least popular videos because it's something that everyone can do for free to make their life a million times better. They're not going to do that. Not when they could spend $200 a month on a bottle of testosterone that they could have bought of higher quality for 40. Why would you do that? The fact that it costs more means it must be better, right? No. Drugs are like women's fashion. The amount it costs has nothing to do with the quality. It's just marketing. That men think that drugs are like tools and that you get what you pay for. Drugs are not like tools. You do not get what you pay for. That you want to buy the cheapest drugs you can because it's all markup. Everything's 1,000% markup. Like supplements, for instance. Like the supplement you pay $50 a month, the pre-workout you pay $50 a month for, that costs like $6 to make. You know, you're paying all markup. You're paying for their marketing and you're paying for all the broken containers and the amount of their inventory that's going to go bad that they're predicting they're going to lose profit on. Like I pay $24 per container for my pre-workout and I charge the same price as everyone else does because I don't give a fuck if I have any money. I just want to put everyone else out of business. That's the whole point is eventually after 10 years, when I wipe out all other brands on earth, then I will actually start making a profit because I'll have such a huge market shares, my shitty margins will be fine. And that's the same approach everyone should have towards business but that's not how healthcare is. People expect to get fucked over by their healthcare provider. They expect to get lied to. They expect to get overcharged and they expect to get shitty service. Where with an underground lab, they over deliver on concentration. They give you next day shipping. They usually do free shipping. Sometimes they throw in extra bottles because they like you. And they just are excellent business people and do an excellent product. But the HRT and the medical community lie to you and give you propaganda that underground labs are shit and you have to go with pharma because it's almost like the Democrats are telling people Republicans are evil, you should vote Democrat. And the Republicans are like, hey, but if you vote for us, you don't have to pay as much taxes. And people still vote Democrat. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, wait a minute. Why the fuck would you vote for people that are going to cost you more money? Just vote for the people that are going to improve your quality of life. Let the special interest people vote for themselves. You vote for yourself. If everyone voted for themselves, everything would be fine. It's the same thing with the TRT and the underground community. The underground labs are not out there telling you, don't buy TRT, don't buy pharma, buy our underground stuff instead. No, they're like, we're doing business correctly and we've got such good repeat business. Go ahead, try the competition. Go try a TRT clinic. Wait 3 weeks to get your bottle of testosterone. Have it be underdosed. Have them send you 19 gauge needles. Then instead of the 21, instead of the 23 or 25 or 27 gauge needles you should be using. Then when you run out, you call to get a refill, wait 3 weeks to get more drugs. See how you feel after 2 weeks of having no testosterone. Then you get another bottle that lasts, they only give you half of a bottle that lasts you 4 weeks. Then you spend another $200, and then you have to wait another 3 weeks to get another bottle that's only going to last you a month. Or you could just go to an underground lab and be like, I want to buy 10 bottles of test. I want to have enough tests to last me for 2 years because there's a shortage in China. And people are like, okay, here you go, boom. And you pay like $300 and you get through 10 bottles of testosterone. It's going to last you 3 years. You know, like, why on earth would you spend 300 for 10 bottles when you could spend 200 for one bottle? Because you're fucking stupid. Because people are so fucking stupid, they'd rather buy a bottle for 200 than 10 bottles for 300 because they think it's better, and it's not. Especially when the underground labs have fucking tests from Janoschik or Eliza showing that in Poland or in wherever Janoschik is, it's like, here we go. We got the exact purity. We have the exact molecular weight. We have the exact chemical structure. But the dumbasses who go to the TRT clinics can't read a goddamn lab report on the product to see that it's actually better than the TRT clinics. Do the TRT clinics have any lab reports showing the quality of their compound pharmacies? No. A compound pharmacy is just a shitty underground lab that spent all their money bribing the FDA to get FDA approval. That the underground labs are a million times better than the compound pharmacies. So your question was what? I got on a tangent about how much I hate compound pharmacies and TRT.
That Nandrolone doesn't really have a place in the TRT
Oh,
protocol.
okay. So what they do is they try to sell you on Nandrolone that it's going to improve collagen synthesis and make pain go away, but EQ is better for collagen synthesis. Anavar is about as good for collagen synthesis. Testosterone is great for collagen synthesis. Testosterone also causes an increase in water retention. So Nandrolone doesn't do anything testosterone doesn't do, except Nandrolone doesn't convert to DHT, and testosterone does. And nandrolone also is going to upregulate the receptor, the estrogen alpha receptor, so that any amount of estrogen in your body is going to almost guarantee give you gyno. So it's a shit drug. If someone really has that much pain, they got to learn how to lift right, quit with the fucking flat barbell benching, grow the fuck up, and use proper bodybuilding exercises, not that powerlifting bullshit. Don't be doing sets less than 12 reps. Don't listen to Paul Carter with his 4 to 6 rep bullshit. Keep your reps in a double-digit rep range, especially if you're over 40, especially if you're on anabolics, because the anabolics grow muscle faster than tendons. The reason your tendons hurt is because you're lifting too fucking heavy with dumb-ass exercises. Don't use barbells. They're fixed bar movements. There's no way your body is going to move. This is what your chest does. Notice where my hands are. This is not the smart movement. This is. So dumbbells or a converging arm machine, notice the path of the humerus is at a 45-degree angle with a slight internal rotation at the top. That's what the pec does. You don't get any of that with a barbell. Barbells are fucking retarded. That barbells are as useless as 5 reps or less, which is as useless as TRT clinics. You always want to go with the best underground lab that has real results. And then you can pick what drug you want. You don't have to use whatever they want to give you. The garbage basement drugs like Nandrolone or Anadrol or Winstrol. You can use really good drugs like Masteron or DHB if your liver can handle it. Anavar is a good drug, but it's only good sublingually. And what are they going to charge you? They're going to charge you like $700 a month for some dissolving wafer of Anavar to go under your tongue when you could just get the raw Anavar, mix some DMSO and propylene glycol, shake it up in a bottle and stick it under your tongue. Like, it's so much easier to do stuff yourself than to trust someone who's incompetent. And you're like, well, I don't have a chemistry degree. Neither does the fucking lab tech. The people at the compound pharmacies don't have degrees. What the fuck are you thinking? There's some pharmacists laughing all the way to the bank, and then there's a bunch of peons that make $8 an hour that are working under him that don't give a fuck about you. At least you care about you. Nobody can do a better job taking care of you than you. That's why I went to medical school. It's like, if I don't take care of myself, I'm going to fucking die. These assholes don't know a goddamn thing, and they don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves and paying their alimony. So I better go and take myself to medical school so I can survive. So to answer the question, Nandrolone is pretty much a shit drug. I have seen good results with Nandrolone only, but my IGF-1 was shit the whole time. So in the end, yes, testosterone is problematic because it can have gyno from the estrogen. It can cause hair loss from the DHT. That's why I'm a big believer that you use HRT levels of test and you use GH and a safe anabolic as a primary growth agent. So some people like Primo. The problem is Primo is going to crush your estrogen, which means you have to raise your test to keep your estrogen high, which means your DHT goes up. So the Primo puts you in a position to where DHT makes your hair fall out. But because they want to avoid Masteron because they think Masteron causes hair to fall out. But Masteron doesn't make hair fall out like test does. And that when you use Primo, you have to use a shit ton of test. So 1,000 test, 800 Primo, you're going to lose more hair than 200 test and 1,600 Masteron. And people are like, that's insane doses. I'm like, that's pro level doses because that's what everyone thinks they should do. That I want to look like a pro, but I don't want to do the diet and training. So I'm just going to take the steroids that the pros take. All right. If you don't have the muscle, then the steroids don't go to the muscle. They go to the other areas like your skin, your hair, your prostate. That the reason why little guys who use a lot of steroids get more side effects than big guys who use a lot of steroids is because the steroids go where the muscle is. If you don't have any muscle, so if you have 30 pounds of muscle like a normal adult man, then you can't, there's no reason to use the same amount of steroids that a guy with 150 pounds of muscle uses. So if he's using 3 grams, you shouldn't be using more than 400 milligrams because you're a little person. You might have a lot of fat, but you're a little man. And then a lot of people, I want to be a big man. It's like that should have started when you were 8 years old. You should have thought, I want to be a big man when I'm 8. And you should have been doing push ups and pull ups and eating your meat and eating your vegetables the whole fucking time. The whole fucking time. You can't be 40 or 50 years old, be 300 pounds, and have heart disease and cholesterol. And you're like, I'm just going to start shooting a pro levels of drugs and turn into Superman overnight. You got to take it all the way down to the very bottom, get all the fat off your body, clean out all your organs, be super healthy, even if you look like a runner, and then start building up with HRT until you bring yourself up to the maximum human level, like Steve Rogers from the first Captain America movie. Once you look like that, that's when you would be like, okay, I'm going to add in Masteron, or I'm going to add in a tiny drop of DHB. And then you will explode. For the next year, you don't have to increase your dose. 20 milligrams of Masteron or 10 milligrams of DHB per day. If you keep training right and keep eating right, going from Steve Rogers, you will eventually start to look like Thor. And then once you look like Thor, and then you're like, I'm not growing anymore. Okay, you can go to 40 milligrams of Masteron or 30 Masteron and 10 DHB. And then you start to look like the Hulk. And be like, there's no way that little amount of gear is going to have that big of an impact. First of all, you're not multiplying by 7. And then second of all, I'm saying after 20 years of lifting and eating right, using small doses of steroids, you will be healthy and you will also be jacked. And you will be lean and jacked. That the idea that people are, there's some influencers that say, oh, it gained 30 pounds of muscle in 2 weeks using this cycle, so that you click on his video and you watch it. That's that clickbait bullshit. I fucking hate clickbait bullshit. It's all the fucking time on the same fucking channels. The premagogues are pushing their clickbait bullshit, which is, they want to get your views. They don't give a shit if the information they say is true. They don't care what happens to you. They just want views because they monetize the channel and they make money the more views they get. My channel's not monetized because I don't give a fuck if I get views, because I'm going to tell the truth. And if I tell the truth, I'll get banned if I'm monetized.